Today on Comics and Pop Culture, let's talk I want to remember the life and career of the late Johnny Cash. John R. Cash, born February 26, 1932, passed away September 12, 2003, was an American country singer-songwriter. Much of Cash's music contained themes of sorrow, moral tribulation, and redemption, especially in the later stages of his career. He was known for his deep, home bass baritone voice, the distinctive sound of his Tennessee Three backing band characterized by train-like chugging guitar rhythms, a rebelliousness coupled with an increasingly somber and humble demeanor, free prison concerts, and a trademark all-black stage wardrobe which earned him the nickname The Man in Black. Born to poor cotton farmers Carrie Rivers and Raymond Cash, in Kingsland, Arkansas, Cash rose to fame during the mid-1950s in the burgeoning rockabilly scene in Memphis, Tennessee. After 4 years in the Air Force, he traditionally began his concerts by simply introducing himself.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
He made his first single, Hey Porter, for Sun Records in 1955. In 1958, he moved to Columbia Records.
Always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher.
He had long periods of drug abuse during the 1960s, but later that decade he successfully fought his addiction with the help of singer June Carter Cash, whom he married in 1968. In 1944, Cash's older brother Jack, with whom he was close, was cut almost in two by an unguarded table saw at work and died a week later. According to his autobiography, he, his mother, and Jack all had a sense of foreboding about that day. His mother urged Jack to skip work and go fishing with Cash, but Jack insisted on working as the family needed the money. Cash often spoke of the guilt he felt over the incident, and spoke of looking forward to meeting his brother in heaven. In 1954, Cash and his first wife Vivian moved to Memphis, Tennessee, where he had sold appliances while studying to be a radio announcer. At night, he played with guitarist Luther Perkins and bassist Marshall Grant. Perkins and Grant were known as the Tennessee Two. Cash worked up the courage to visit the Sun Records studio, hoping to get a recording contract. On December 4, 1956, Elvis Presley dropped in on Phillips while Carl Perkins was in the studio cutting new tracks, with Jerry Lee Lewis backing him on piano. Cash was also in the studio, and the four started an impromptu jam session. Phillips left the tapes running and the recordings, almost half of which were gospel songs, survived. They have since been released under the title $1 Million Quartet. As his career was taking off in the late 1950s, Cash started drinking heavily and became addicted to amphetamines and barbiturates. For a brief time, he shared an apartment in Nashville with Waylon Jennings, who was deeply addicted to amphetamines. Cash would use the stimulants to stay awake during tours. In this period of the mid-1960s, Cash released a number of concept albums. His Bitter Tears, 1964, was devoted to spoken word and songs addressing the plight of Native Americans and mistreatment by the government. In 2011, a book was published about it, leading to a re-recording of the songs by contemporary artists and the making of a documentary film about Cash's efforts with the album. This film was aired on PBS in February and November 2016. His Sings the Ballads of the True West, 1965, was an experimental double record, mixing authentic frontier songs with Cash's spoken narration. From June 1969 to March 1971, Cash starred in his own television show, The Johnny Cash Show, on the ABC network. On July 18, 1951, while in Air Force basic training, Cash met 17-year-old Italian-American Vivian Liberto at a roller skating rink in San Antonio, Texas. They dated for 3 weeks until Cash was deployed to West Germany for a 3-year tour. During that time, the couple exchanged hundreds of love letters. On August 7, 1954, 1 month after his discharge, they were married at St. Anne's Roman Catholic Church in San Antonio. They had 4 daughters, Roseanne, Kathy, Cindy, and Tara. In 1961, Cash moved his family to a hilltop home overlooking Casitas Springs, California. His drinking led to several run-ins with local law enforcement. Liberto later said that she had filed for divorce in 1966 because of Cash's severe drug and alcohol abuse, as well as his constant touring, his repeated acts of adultery with other women, and his close relationship with singer June Carter. Their 4 daughters were then raised by their mother. Cash met June of the famed Carter family while on tour, and the two became infatuated with each other. In 1968, 13 years after they first met backstage at the Grand Ole Opry, Cash proposed to June during a live performance in London, Ontario. The couple married on March 1, 1968, in Franklin, Kentucky. They had one child together, John Carter Cash, born March 3, 1970. Johnny Cash was raised a Baptist Christian but struggled with his faith until May 9, 1971, when he answered the altar call at Evangel Temple, an Assemblies of God congregation. It was after this he finally found the strength to kick his drug habit. Cash recorded 91 albums in his lifetime with 170 singles. Most of his early hits made the top 10 with Folsom Prison Blues, his first big hit, making it to number 4. His first number 1 hit was Walk the Line. His last top 10 hit from his solo career was 1978's Ghost Riders in the Sky. He would join the Highwaymen in the 1980s, and the title track collaboration with Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson and Chris Christopherson would go to number 1 in 1985. He dabbled with acting in several movies like 5 Minutes to Live, The Road to Nashville, and A Gunfight, plus many made-for-TV movies and series episodes. In 1997, during a trip to New York City, Cash was diagnosed with the neurodegenerative disease Shy-Drager syndrome, a form of multiple system atrophy. According to biographer Robert Hilburn, the disease was originally misdiagnosed as Parkinson's disease, and Cash even announced to his audience that he had Parkinson's after nearly collapsing on stage in Flint, Michigan, on October 25, 1997. Soon afterwards, his diagnosis was changed to Shy-Drager, and Cash was told he had about 18 months to live. The diagnosis was later again altered to autonomic neuropathy associated with diabetes. The illness forced Cash to curtail his touring. He was hospitalized in 1998 with severe pneumonia, which damaged his lungs. During the last stage of his career, Cash released the albums American 3, Solitary Man, and American 4, The Man Comes Around. American 4 included cover songs by several late 20th century rock artists, notably Hurt by Nine Inch Nails and Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode. June Carter Cash died on May 15, 2003, aged 73. June had told Cash to keep working, so he continued to record, completing 60 songs in the last 4 months of his life. He even performed surprise shows at the Carter family fold outside Bristol, Virginia. At the July 5, 2003, concert, his last public performance, before singing Ring of Fire, Cash read a statement that he had written shortly before taking the stage. The spirit of June Carter overshadows me tonight with the love she had for me and the love I have for her. We connect somewhere between here and heaven. She came down for a short visit, I guess, from heaven to visit with me tonight to give me courage and inspiration like she always has. She's never been one for me except courage and inspiration. I thank God for June Carter. I love her with all my heart. Cash continued to record until shortly before his death. Cash's final recordings were made on August 21, 2003. Cash's grave located at Hendersonville Memory Gardens in Hendersonville, Tennessee. While being hospitalized at Baptist Hospital in Nashville, Cash died of complications from diabetes at around 2 a.m. Central Time on September 12, 2003, aged 71, less than 4 months after his wife. He was buried next to her at Hendersonville Memory Gardens near his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. That was our look at the career of the late Johnny Cash. Do you have a favorite Johnny Cash song? Let us know in the comments below, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for joining, and until next time, this is Andrew in for Kevin Gibbons saying live long and prosper. May the force be with you and keep reaching for the stars.